Well, I know we've done honey extracting before, but I bought this new coolly crazy toy, and it's called a honey pour, and it's got basically heated up with steam. So you've got the steam coming in here, and this is just the exhaust valve, which heats up this nice little metal element, and it's got these crazy deep teeth. And the idea is that you can cut through the caps, and you don't rupture up so much of the honey stuff, so you end up with anyway, you'll see in a minute. You end up basically with lines in the caps rather than taking all the caps off. And it seems to work a treat. I've had a bit of a crack at it and thought, shit, we better show you how cool this is. Obviously with this little honey pour, you have to go and buy yourself some way to make steam. And of course, you know, this is all about Rhapsody's rule, so we're making up some bloody ideas as we go. So I had to buy a different fitting to get the hose onto this bit, which is pretty easy. And I just bought myself a little steamer from the hardware shop, which is just a wallpaper steamer. So it comes with all the little bits so you could steam your wallpaper off. Anyway, seemed like the reasonable solution to me. Just going to put a little bit of water in our steamer, which it doesn't need a whole lot of water. Actually, it's pretty conservative, really. I've just plugged the steamer into the power, and so we'll let that warm up a little bit. And this is the return hose, and I'm guessing if you're, like, obviously if you're in a different environment, or if you had a flasher steamer, you'd have a return hose, but we haven't got one. So I've found if you just pop it in the bucket with some water, when you need to re-top up your heater later on, you've already got the hot water that's recycled. So it's kind of saves a whole lot of time, especially after you get into it for a while. Pop it in our bucket, so the bloody thing will stay under the water a bit. So while it's warming up, we've got to make our decapping stand up. So I've got this little decanter thing that I bought. It's just a couple of boxes really with some holes in the bottom. And so we'll put that together, and then we'll go from there. There. That's the middle, that's the top bit. So this is just your little base bit where the honey's going to collect. You obviously got your little honey tap. You better shut that, otherwise it'll be a bit pointless. All the bloody honey will be on the ground. And then you sit that on top of there. It came with a little bit of nylon-y mesh stuff, but I didn't think much of that, so I've got some of this nice stainless steel aluminium mesh that I had. And that goes in the bottom, like this. The interesting thing with this honey pour thing is that instead of, like with the knife, you're going long ways down the frame, these you've got to go sort of up and down on the short length. So the directions tell me. How's that for a surprise? I even read the directions. Now that'll be a shock to the viewers, won't it? Anyway, so I thought, right, what I'm going to do, I thought I had the frame in this box, is going to be a right pain in the arse, isn't it? So I thought, rightio, what I had, went for a bit of a Foszick around in the shed. This is why you should never throw anything away. Even though my sister-in-law wouldn't believe that, but you shouldn't. Anyway, so I've got my oven tray, I thought that'll be cool. So I popped the oven tray up here and I thought, well, that'll be good. It's got a nice little stabilising bar at the front. So I thought, okay, we'll put the frame up here. And obviously then you're going to have to like run the pourer cutter up and down. Where is she? Where is my machine? So then it runs up and down like this. But you can imagine after about 10 or 20 of that lot, I got a bit shitted off with that. So I went for another Foszick and I found myself a U-Butte stand. And I thought, look at that, that would work. So I thought, well, I could rest my B-frame against there and wouldn't have to hold it up. Well, that was pretty bloody clever. But then, of course, how do you hold the full thing up? So, waste not, want not, here at the Bush Bee Company. Oh! So we need some trusty wire, hair pliers, and something that every beekeeper should have laying around their house, a couple of ends for your frames. And I thought, well, they'll make cool little holdy-uppy standy bits. So that, look at that, you've even got the little grooves. Sit that on there, sit that on there, like that, like that. Oh, hell, that's a bit slippery dip. So, I think maybe we better, that's what the wire's for. We might wire this bit first, what do you reckon? Where are we going to square it up? I reckon that looks about the right height. So I reckon if we just stick a bit of wire around there, twitch that up a bit. I'm not sure, I bet you could buy a proper stand, can't you? Now, where would be the fun in that? With be no adventure. Top quality pair of pliers the bloke's got here. Shit! That's not got to be in there. You get out of there, little shiter. Oh, dear. Something else I thought was pretty cool with using the end bars. They come pre-drilled. You don't even have to drill your own holes. How good's that? Now, if anybody's wondering, these are actually commercial stove racks. So this is a little bit of commercial black on here, so it's food safe. It's just been a bit used for something else. Because I bought an old commercial stove so that I could nick the door off it for my pizza oven. And I thought, well, I threw most of it away, but I kept these racks because I was going to make myself a cool American style barbecue, but golly gosh, I got a bit distracted being a beekeeper. Is that stupid thing warming up? Doesn't sound like it.
Did you turn it on?
Yeah, well, I plugged it in. I don't think it turns on. Plug that bit, probably be good. There we go. Helps better when you plug it in properly. So here we go, I reckon that's the go. I've got a nice little stand. I might, well, we'll find out if it works in a minute, if it had the bloody steamer hot, but anyway, we've just got to wait for that for a minute. And my concept is, you can rest your frame here, run your paw up and down, so when you pop your frames, you know, you can just decap the frames nice and easy. All your honey's going to fall in the bottom here. And I like this little lip bit because then you can't push the full thing off. So it was almost purposely designed for the job. As a matter of fact, it almost works so good that I'm not sure whether I want to buy the commercial version of it. When you're living in the bush, of course, you've got to utilise every opportunity. So, guess what this is? Any guesses out there? This happens to be the frame warming box. So we've got our frame sitting in here, nice and warm. It's not a hot day, so you put them in here on a hot day, you don't have to extract the shit, it just runs on the floor and out the back. Hence the reason why the door's a bit sticky. I got real fancy now and I made these little lips here so me boxes can't slide off. Still bloody heavy to lift. Oh, I think I need myself a proper carry-on. Oh my God. So the girl's getting warm now, I reckon. Oh, she's starting to feel hot. So when you get this from the factory, comes with these two little outlets, like this, just this basically this adaptation. I've still got the other one, believe it or not, in the box. But that jolly hose is pretty hot. And this hose actually comes with the steamer from the hardware store. And it's supposed to be so you can get your double. So I just went down the shop and bought a little 10mm nipple, screwed out that one, put the nipple in so I could actually thread this straight on. And then you've got sort of like the feeder hose, it's got a bit of insulation. And I'm reckoning if I got motivated I should put a bit of insulation on that, but my patented design here actually gives it somewhere to stay away from your hand if you start from that end and work that way. We're just doing this to show you, so it'll probably take me longer to clean up than it will to bloody get that bit of honey we've got here, but I thought it was worth doing while the man was home. So anyway, so you rest your frame up there like that. Obviously you've got to hold on to it, and I found if you start from this end and you just put that on there where it's nice and hot, like that. You don't want to be in too big a hurry. I'm sure if I got a bit more kick-ass steamer, you'd probably get a bit more excited. The thing I really liked about this deal though, like is anybody who's got a normal knife cutting the caps off, the bloody frames are never quite even, are they? I mean, this is pretty good, this one, but in the grand scheme of things, you got to go around corners and stuff around and try and get into the grooves and stuff. Well, this groovy thing's got the angles in it, so you can go all around and cut different angles. Very fresh, this honey. Oh, very fresh little comb. Pop that in our extractor. Hopefully there'll be enough of these two little frames to make the thing run. groovy. Look at that. That's been extracted really nice. This is super fresh. Like this is just one season, like this season, first time out of the spinner, and you use an old knife on that. Geez, usually bits and pieces of crap going everywhere. Whereas that spun out really nice and still together. So hopefully when we get the other side out, we might still have a sticky that we can reuse. Looking good. Hey, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? Look at that. Obviously the girls had changed what they were feeding on halfway through this frame. See that darker nectar there? That's probably eucalyptus, and this is probably the wildflowers. Had a guess? Well, how groovy is that? So when you buy a small batch honey, that's what you're going to get. Although here we got it mixed up, but generally it'll swap over and you'll get a whole different range, whole different flavour. I've gone with just these containers. This is a 30 litre one or a 20 litre one, and these are basically my settling tanks. So as you've seen out there, we filter the honey just to get the wax and muck out of it, and then you let it settle. So all the sediment will come to the top. I don't know if we want to lift the lid off, do we? So you get a little bit of wax sediment on the top. So anyway, so you let it settle here for, I don't know, about a week, I suppose. Well, it depends, but yeah, it usually ends up being a bit more than a week, but that would be a minimum. And you just get these cool little honey taps. Obviously, most people would know what they are, but if you haven't seen them, they're just basically a sliding tap. Now, your little pails, that they come in all different sizes. And there you go. Couldn't get much more natural than that, could you? So it doesn't get much more natural than that. This is beautiful natural honey. It's come straight out of our hives to you. So if you are interested in getting some, just go to thebushbeecompany.com, and this natural honey can be on your toast in the morning.